If it's too loud. Evolution. Sports Talk Television live here nightly. All Bucs report. It's the Sports Lab. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about on tonight's show. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Will you shut up and be quiet? Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers eclipse last year's win total as they defeat the Minnesota Vikings 26-14, which now gives them a 98% chance to make the playoffs. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, live from the Deck Bar and Grill, of course. The Evolution of Sports Talk Television, powered by 320solar.com. And what can you say? We always talk about it. If you get pressure on the quarterback, which is what they did today, six sacks.
Yeah.
And JPP closing it out there with the turnover, no turnover situation for the Vikings until that time. That's a top-notch defense. That's a top-5 defense right there. That's the type of play you make to close out games.
And you talked about it when they run that blitz. Winfield gets the sack today. He gets a sack. You got Shaq with 2. You had, of course, you have JPP, and even Pat O'Connor got in on it with those 6 sacks today. But like you said, when the Bucs and when they do run the blitz, and they don't have to commit to always running the blitz, but when you're going to run it, make it count. And Winfield does today with the sack. 6 sacks on a day. What a great defensive effort.
Yeah, they moved to 8-5, so definitely want to hear from you guys. I don't want to hear this tonight for this. I don't want to hear this. Because the Bucs, look, was it the prettiest game out there? Absolutely not. But what do we also talk about? Running the ball, 18 carries for 80 yards for the victim of volume with a touchdown. Overall, 26 carries, 107 yards. What a difference a running game makes, right?
Yeah, no.
Amazing.
Being able to, it's literally like a pressure valve release, allowing Tom Brady to optimally use some play action. And even before they got the run going, just the threat of the play action opens up other passing avenues. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't the prettiest game, but good teams win the games they're supposed to.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and go out to the webheads here. I'll read these comments. 8-5, fire those cannons. Let's go ahead and do that for you guys. Let's see here. You like that, Cousins? I don't think he does like that. Michael says, that was a good game, no lie. Anthony says, we escaped. I'll take it. I don't think they escaped. I don't see that. I don't see an escape. Not at all. Let's go out to Ed. Ed, welcome to the Evolution after the Bucs defeat the Minnesota Vikings 26-14 to move to 8-5. What do you have to say, my friend?
I was going to tell you guys earlier, but you kind of rushed me off the phone. But anyways, last night, we went to the the locker room over at Countryside Mall.
Okay,
store.
Sure.
And one of the people that worked there was a Vikings fan.
Right.
and he was giving me crap because I was trying to get a Tom Brady jersey, which I wasn't able to get because they don't have my size. And he was giving me crap the whole time how they were just going to destroy the Bucs. And if he's listening, which I doubt he is because he's a Vikings fan.
Well, that's his fault. First and foremost, that's his
face.
fault, but he's not listening to the evolution of sports talk television. In fact, that's his loss. And then on top of it, you better go back there. You better give him some guff for giving you guff. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And the other thing I wanted to talk about, Ray Kenny was talking about jumping into the pond if he had if we won the Super Bowl. I got something better. Can you swim, Peter?
I'll tell you right now, I'm not jumping into that, but I may jump into a pool.
I was thinking Ray would just throw you in.
Well, Ed, somebody needs to throw you in. Somebody needs to wake you up because if you throw me in, then there's nobody that's going to host this show.
Ed's bringing the nonsense.
Yeah, that's bringing the. There, this is what we go with that right there. So,
anyways, it was a great game. They do have some things to work on. There's a lot of timing issues, tackling issues. Same stuff that we've seen. They just the Vikings just basically shot themselves in the foot, and the Bucs capitalized on it, which was good. But that was basically what I saw.
You know what though, Ed, and I think also that the Bucs didn't allow them to shoot themselves in the foot. The Bucs get that. What'd you think, Ed? Of course, we didn't get the chance to talk to you at halftime, talk to you pregame. When they get that one untimed down at the end of the first half, and Bruce Arians marches Suck up out there and kicks a field goal. And then at the end of the game here with 5 minutes left and fourth down, they let Suck up go in and try a 50-yard field goal. And it still was one touchdown. It would have been
48 yarder.
48 yarder. But either way, nine points or 12 points is still 2 touchdowns. But Bruce Arians and that Buccaneers coaching staff didn't allow those Minnesota Vikings so much to shoot themselves in the foot. We just made good, sound coaching decisions.
Well, that's simply the difference now with having a kicking game, which right now the Vikings don't. Dan Bailey has been absolutely atrocious. He was atrocious in this game, gave the Bucs every opportunity. Of course, the Bucs were
looking for a job.
Well, I definitely think he will be, and that's points off the board there. How many field goals did he miss today?
2 and
3.
Extra.
I thought he missed 3 field goals and an extra point. So,
thank God, because that really helped the Bucs.
Yeah,
really propelled the Bucs.
No, absolutely, absolutely, buddy.
Points, definitely.
So,
and I think the Bucs need to look on the waiver wire for a good run stopper because they're really struggling against the run.
Well, I will say this: the first time in 21 games a running back goes up for over 100 yards, but that's no slouch here. That's the second leading rusher in the NFL in the Dalvin Cook. So that was somewhat disappointing. But
we're gonna if we get to we probably will make the playoffs now after they win this game. I'm pretty
98% chance. 98%.
Playoffs.
They're gonna make the playoffs, but they're going to face better running backs in the playoffs. So they.
Well, I don't know, Ed. I don't know about that. I mean, Dalvin Cook is a great running back. He's second in the league, so that's a top-notch running back.
And you had Thielen, and you also had Jefferson, Jefferson's, I think, almost in line for, if not already, getting that Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year nod.
Sure,
this kid just played fantastically.
Well, you don't think our guy on the right tackle is going to get Rookie of the Year?
Oh, I think Tristan Wirfs is in the conversation, but I think he'd have to start throwing some pancakes between now and the end of the season. And I need to see him consistently.
I just think it's a factor of Tristan Wirfs has played absolutely fantastic, but the thing is, he's an offensive lineman. More than anything else, skilled positions always get the pub. And Jefferson year right now, he most likely will get. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about what you saw out of this Bucs win, being 8-5 now. Do you feel confident? And can you say it for me? Victim of volume, 18 carries, 80 yards. Yes, absolutely, definitely. My friend. Yes. So what else?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I keep saying. You got to run the ball. You got Tom Brady, who's not when you don't have a mobile quarterback, you got to run the football, man. You can't just drop back every down.
Well, I don't even care if you have a mobile quarterback or not. You got to have balance. You got to have that balance to your offense, and that was the difference today. I bet the run pass differential, and I know Ray's gonna get me those statistics on Brady, how many times you threw the ball today, but I bet it wasn't over 40 times, right? I bet it wasn't over 40 times.
Right at
40, it was balanced.
Literally.
I don't even think it was at 40. I think it was something like 24 or 25.
I apologize. I had that up there a minute
It's okay. No problem. So that's the point. The balance to the offense, that's the point that we've been trying to make, that I've been trying to make on this show, is the fact of if you don't have that and you go one-dimensional, And you look at the Vikings, right? They didn't give up on the running game. They continued to run the ball and keep that in their game plan. You also saw in the second half of the game with, basically the tendency of this team running the ball on first down. It sets up play action, 29-yard play to Mike Evans. So that's what you're looking for.
For the record, man, right. 15 of 23 for 196 and 2 touchdowns.
Let the truth set you free.
26 rushes. We outnumbered the
So
the
26 to 23, you win. Do you win the most pretty manner? No, but you win a football game.
Exactly.
And guess what?
It's a win.
Right,
It's a win.
but
We'll
you
take
keep the defense honest. That's the point, and you take the pressure off of Tom Brady and your offensive line. Good stuff, Ed. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons for you. All right, man. Appreciate you. Use your second call. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Read those statistics again for me, please.
So we had Tom Brady was 16 of 23 for 196 yards and 2 touchdowns. What I liked about it, again, we talked about those 6 sacks.
No interceptions, right? No turnovers. Amazing.
Right.
Amazing how that goes. And then you run the ball, and then your defense comes and shows up and doesn't give up any big plays.
No.
That's amazing how that works. Football 101. All right, let's go back out to the phone lines. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay. What do you have to say?
Hey, what's up? It's Deshaun.
What's up, Deshaun? Your thoughts on this game after the Bucs defeat the Vikings 26-14 to move to 8-5?
Hey, listen, I can only be happy. I know there's things to work on, but listen, defense consistently doing what it does. Defensive line was able to get pressure in there. I know we say, hey, we're missing Vita. We got to work with what we have for the rest of the season.
Sure.
And we're applying pressure. I saw Todd Bowles come off the edge a little bit more. In the games when our defense is dominant, he does have those corners, safeties. He has them coming off the edge. He has the nickelback coming off the edge, a la the old school Tampa 2 with Rondé Barber coming off the edge.
Correct.
That's not accounted
We
for.
saw Winfield
And
with
you
the sack
saw
today.
when Cousins was not, when he didn't get accounted for, when those people that are not in the traditional front are come off the edge and you're not accounted for, we get pressure on opposing quarterbacks, and we did that today. And listen, I know we saw a sighting of Shady McCoy today. I was happy to see it a little bit. He actually had a little bit of burst, and
wasn't he more effective than Fournette? Did you not see more effectiveness from McCoy when he was in there?
What he literally was, and I think that Fournette is. Listen, I think they picked up these players for strategic, situational football. To be honest with you, Fournette is going to help us out when it comes to the playoffs. Prior to the playoffs, may not be what it is. This may be the time right now to pop a can of Shady McCoy out and have him come in there. No one expected him to run. He got downhill really quick. His burst was there for 32-year-old legs. And listen, if we're going to talk about the running game, we got to talk about the person who only needs 100 yards to have that 1,000-yard season, the victim of volume, Ronald Jones. Come on, we're here right now. He picked up 80 yards today.
Yep.
He was already – so now he needs 100 yards.
Yep.
So come on.
Yep.
And
people continue to tell me, even on my own show, that Leonard Fournette is a better back. And the Bucs today told you he was not the better back. It was Ronald Jones. It was Shady McCoy. And I feel like if they keep on getting this type of production from those type of running backs, you got to run with them. Oh, yeah. And they got to be your catalyst. Oh, yeah. And that's the difference. That's the big time difference.
Oh, yeah. And Shady's going to give you more of – I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sean.
See, that's it. Shady gave us something today, Ray. He gave us a little spark. We already knew we could throw the ball to him. Listen, when that safety comes and goes helmet to helmet with Shady, we're going off the field because Tom had nowhere else to go with it.
And
we pick up a first down right there. We go down. We put points on the board. And at the end of the day, our defense is still being out there a little bit longer than I'd like them to be out there.
Yeah.
But the offense definitely had some points today where they clicked a little bit more. And we just got to continue to get more of that. We got to continue to get more of that out of this offense. I'll take the win. It was a great win today for us. However it goes, fire those cannons, go Bucs.
All right, let me go ahead and fire those cannons. Definitely use that second call. Good stuff, Deshaun. Appreciate you. All right. All right, there you go.
The most important thing Shady gave us today was all of a sudden now, from the first 8, 7, or 12 games of the season, Shady was your situational third down, going to pass it running back. And now the Buccaneers are giving other teams some tape that they're going to go, whoa, Shady comes in. It may not be an automatic
pass. A little burst.
It may be a run.
Right.
And if anything that makes that defense play you honest gives you that advantage.
So
Love
what do you
it.
guys think? What do you think, Webhead? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Live from the Deck Bar and Grill. I'm your host, Peter Blick, along with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay. Cup of Ray, what do you say?
Hey.
Absolutely.
We were playing that Bucs fight song out here today, weren't we?
Absolutely. Bucs are 8-5. 98% chance of going to the playoffs. The eclipse the win total of last year. And look, we talked about Tom Brady. Not the best game. He was a little bit off. We admit that. But at the end of the day, effective, gets it done. And once again, no turnovers. So huge.
Most important. And then, again, with JPP still staying in there, getting involved. Sue looked like a man possessed out there again today. Love to see that. Devin White, 7 tackles and 2 assists. Great day for him. Just a defense.
Sue had a couple of opportunities there. He could have had at least
on some serious.
How many sacks did he have in this game? Was it 2 sacks?
2 sacks, and he was close on two or almost 3 others.
Yes,
I mean, he could have been there at 5.
He was
and
huge.
Of course, a defense is going to pick their poison. You got the sack leader from 2019, Shaq Barrett's out there at 19.5. Shaq gets on the board with. I think Sue had 1 because Shaq had 2. Or did Sue have 2? I'll have to check that out. But Sack gets those two sacks I called for in the pregame, and love it because we said, by week 6 or 7, okay, Shaq's not going to get your 19.5, or he's not going to lead the NFL. But now that it's a push comes to shove, crunch time begins, this defense is starting to show that initiative.
And absolutely, and that's what a defense does. They step up, and they stepped up in the key situation. We talked about JPP, but also there were opportunities. Now, give the Vikings credit. They were 4 for 4 on that 4th down, but that last 4th down play when they shut it down, they're 4 for 5. And also they had some problems today with Cousin getting out of the pocket. So I think some of that was, with the blitzing, trying not to lose containment because Cousin did have a career high for rushing yards. So somewhere they were losing some containment there, and it cost them in some situations. But overall, you have to be very happy with this Bucs defensive line, 6 sacks. Tell you what, let's go out to the webheads here, read these comments, and then we will get back to your phone calls here on the Sports Web. All right, that was a good game. No lie. Anthony says we escaped. I'll take it. Told you all at halftime the defense was going to dominate. Go Bucs, says Cornell. Ethan says that was a good one. Anthony, glad Byron Leftwich finally settled down and stopped overthrowing receivers. 8-5. That sounds so good. Go Bucs. Anthony, go back to this question. Glad Byron Leftwich finally settled down and stopped overthrowing receivers. It's not Byron Leftwich. That was Tom Brady. And again, he was off in this game. I think you're trying to be funny, but it's not funny. The point is, though, you didn't have balance in those losses. I mean, and I think everybody's missing it. They're missing it.
And the thing is, and look at it this way. Dalvin Cook becomes, again, the first rusher in 21 straight games to get over 100 yards against this Buccaneer defense. But Dalvin Cook and Ronald Jones had the same running per yard average.
Yeah.
They just said Ronald Jones had 20 or 5 less carries.
That's it. Let's go on to Jim. Damn it, Jim. Welcome to the Evolution. Bucs win over the Vikings 26-14 to move to 8-5. What do you have to say, my friend?
Oh, man, look what happens when we slow down a little bit. Run the ball.
Amazing, right?
Yeah, man, it's amazing.
Say it, man. Say it. Victim of volume. Say it.
Yeah, he's a victim of volume.
That's
Ronald
right.
Jones.
That's right. And he has been. Yep. He wasn't today. They gave him the carries, 18 carries for 80 yards. And, of course, they mixed in the run, 26 carries, over 100 rushing yards. Again, run-pass differential. And a lot of people will say, look, this is a passing league. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like it's in the best interest of this Bucs team to go strictly one-dimensional with the passing game. No. I just don't. I don't. And I think you saw that today. No. And can you win ugly games? Yes, you can win ugly games. Can you win playoff games? Absolutely, you can win playoff games when you're running the ball, when you're playing good defense, when you're getting some turnovers, when you're getting sacks at the key time. Yes, you can win those games. You don't have to win pretty. It's not all about getting the beauty queen all the time. Some of these wins aren't going to be first prizes, but at the end of the day, it is a first prize because it's a damn win, and it eclipses the win total from last year.
That's 8-5. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Just loving life.
Not a surprise to me. I said 13-3, but, temper the expectations.
Hey, now we go to Atlanta.
They got an opportunity. They got an opportunity to go 9-5.
Enjoy this one for about 24 hours, but get ready for Atlanta because we're going up the road here. We're going to take 75 a couple of 6 hours next Sunday, and we're going to go up there and beat those Falcons.
Absolutely. All right, what do you have to say here? What else, Jim?
Yes, man, that was a good game. I'm glad that they using the running back. I can't understand why they wasn't using all 3 running backs through the year.
Well, that remains a mystery, but of course Fournette was inactive today, and who knows if he'll be back. He may stay inactive because the Bucs obviously are not happy with it. And I tell you right now, what was Shady's stats today? They're not big-time stats, but 32 yards of rushing? He had some bursts today.
Big run. Nice
Pretty good job overall. If he keeps on showing that and putting that type of production out there, then
8 yards average, 8 yards per carry,
8 yards.
4 carries for 8
you take 8 yards. We take 8 yards from Shady McCoy, or you take 3 or 4 yards from Fournette, who doesn't even give the best effort.
And again, when you've got McCoy in there, now you got the defense thinking that Tom's looking for a pass outlet. And then later on, when you got the defense thinking Shady's averaging 8 yards a carry on 4 rushes, then you throw it to Shady because he's got the better hands catching out of the backfield. The Buccaneers, as they get toward the playoffs, are going to start putting in the options so they can have more options to win.
Right, and I'm not saying Fournette might not come back on this team. I mean, he may be active next week. They just may have thought they're better off with a McCoy. And you know what? It paid off. They were better off with a McCoy and, of course, a Jones. So what else?
That's good. The defense looked pretty good.
Didn't they?
On offense kind of slow.
6 sacks today. I mean, Sue getting pressure all over the place. Shaq getting pressure. JPP with the closer. I believe he still leads this team with sacks. He makes a big play at the end of the game. And that is what you want. That is an identity from your defense stepping up in the crucial time. If you want to be a top 10 defense, if you want to be a top 5 defense, hell, if you want to be the number 1 defense in the NFL, you have to make that stop on 4th down, and the Bucs do it.
Yes, sir.
What else?
Yeah, the defense was moving around.
Absolutely.
They look good today.
They definitely look good. What else, buddy? Anything else?
No, definitely. Just fire them cannons.
All right, let me fire those cannons for you right there. Jem, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you, all right? All right, what else did you see out of this game? I mean, Dan Bailey was just awful.
Well, no, but I talked to you about this, and I can't believe this. We're still talking about Antonio Brown. It's like having $100 in your pocket. You don't even need it yet. I mean, this guy still has 5 catches for 49 yards today, 5 catches on 5 targets. You know, Rob Gronkowski only has 1 reception on 2 targets for 2 yards, but it was a touchdown.
Right.
But you're talking about if Antonio's been on the team now for what now, 7 weeks now or so? He starts getting his timing back with Tom like he had last year when he was in New England. I mean, how are you going to stop this Buccaneers offense?
And that's the main difference. You come out the second half, and this has been a second half team. You have a long drive, 9 plays, 75 yards. Beautiful drive. And it's nice to see Gronk at the goal line there. Just, perfect pass by Tom Brady for the touchdown. And basically the Bucs never look back. Never. And once you have the lead, then basically that team, the Vikings, has to go to being looking one-dimensional. Although, to their credit, and Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, they still kept giving it to Dalvin Cook. They still kept on giving it to their running backs, and Kirk Cousins had a good game outside of the pocket with his rushing yards. So they were able to have some success, but you want to get up in those games. So basically you can make the other team one-dimensional, because if you can make the other team one-dimensional, then that's when you can start to become creative with blitzes and stuff like that change it up.
And give Cousins some credit.
Absolutely.
But by the time he was running those, pretty much those quarterback keepers, it was pretty much an act of desperation. But he had to do what he had to do because the Bucs were shutting down everything else. So, I don't look at that and think, wow, that almost burnt those Bucs. Like you said, it's not like we're playing against Patrick Mahomes or Tua or somebody like or Patrick or Murray. Somebody we got to worry about with the big, the quarterback rushing being in compliance. But we've seen Cousins over the years that he drops back, looks to try to use that play action, and then when he doesn't have it, he'll pull it down and rush. He's definitely more fleet of foot than, say, a 43-year-old Tom Brady. But as far as today, he did what he had to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. So open phone lines here, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 as I'm sending the link out there. What else did you see out of this game against the Vikings?
I love Antoine Winfield Jr. with the two tackles and the sack. But again, remember, this was his dad's former team. This was Antoine Winfield Sr.'s former team that he had all those great 9 years with the Vikings back from 2004 to 2013. And, this was his and dad's team. And he still joins his dad every week. They do those phone calls because he basically learned how to play safety off his daddy's leg, off his dad's knee. His dad showed him how to look for offensive
And don't think
tendencies.
that didn't play into it, because there was a story out there where, the Vikings were kind of looking at him and they decided to pass up on him. He grew up as a Vikings fan.
Yes, sir.
So he had something to prove today. And
leading tackler.
How did those wide receivers do overall? I'll tell you what, let's get back to that in a moment. Let's go back out to the webheads. Welcome to the Evolution. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Anwar from Orlando. What's up, Peter?
What's going on, buddy? Bucs moved to 8-5. What do you say?
I say great win because we had Mr. Victim of value.
Yes.
We got him into the game plan.
Yes, please tell your friends, tweet it out, and tell them. Tell them.
No, you do me a favor. and call Al Keck and tell him that.
Love
That's
Al.
what I want you to do.
Well,
And I
we'll
will be
definitely
there to hear that.
we'll definitely be talking about that tomorrow night. I can assure you. And the Bucs basically told you today they're better off with Jones than they are with Fournette. Sorry to say it, they are.
Yeah, that was a great thing. But I want to know if it's something happened and why would they do that to Fournette?
I think
Why
they're.
is he not playing?
I think if I could take this one,
Sure.
Peter, honestly, and I'm
Go
not
ahead.
putting Fournette down, but Fournette and Rojo are similar styles of runners. We know that Fournette had that problem missing that big block in the last game against the Chiefs. And when you bring in a Shady McCoy, of course, these are situational running back in third down. And I believe, following the narrative with Rojo getting those 20 carries a game, he's 18 today, but with them wanting to get that running game established, then you can start using a McCoy as a pass reception threat out of the backfield. And then guess what? He still has a little bit of sidestep in him to go for 40 yards today. So I think that Fournette and Rojo being similar style runners, at the end of the day, they wanted to get Tyler Vaughn a little more playing time in the backfield, and that's why you see Leonard Fournette on the inactive list.
Tyler's his brother's Keyshawn.
Keyshawn
That's
Vaughn.
great. And
Sorry,
I got one more
doing
question.
that?
It's all right. Yes.
Is JPP our best secondary player? Because I think he's leading our team in interceptions.
Well, I don't think he's leading in team. I think Carlton Davis is still ahead, but you're exactly right. What is he? 3 interceptions?
Well, he might be second there.
I mean, that's
no, he
it's.
got 4 because he had 3 in one game.
Oh, did he?
I mean, 3 weeks, 3 separate weeks. So he has at least 4.
We'll have to check that statistic, but you're exactly right. JPP on the spot, especially with that play to end the game. And that's what again, I keep on going back to it. If you want to be the best defense in the NFL, you have to shut them down on fourth down. You can't let the Vikings get new life there. And that's exactly what you want to see from a gamer like JPP, who, by all accounts this year is probably their best pass rusher besides a Shaq Barrett. But I think Barrett played well today too. I think that line really stepped up.
You got to pick your poison with
And
this.
Sue.
line.
You know what happened?
And
I
Sue.
noticed
Sue.
something. I
A boy
noticed
named
something
Sue.
in the bye week.
Yeah.
They switched JPP and Shaq Barrett. They moved them on the opposite sides.
Right. They
Because
moved Shaq where he was
left
last
side
year.
of the Vikings line was terrible.
Absolutely.
And that helped Shaq get in there all day.
I loved it. I love the game plan by the Bucs. I didn't see a lot of blitzing in this game, and I thought
too much. They did it every now and then, but not too much.
Not too much. And I know Todd Bowles likes to blitz, but you have to be careful with trying to blitz, because basically when you do that, when you bring that extra man, then you have one-on-one coverage, and that's when you may get into trouble. And hats off to that secondary. You saw Sean Murphy-Bunting today. He played well. A lot of criticism from the fans out there. I thought he played well.
But
I didn't think he gave up any big plays.
Carlton Davis had a great day.
I do too. And I want to hear the people
on the comeback where he knocked Jefferson down.
Yep.
Yeah, huge.
Yep. That's a big play.
Was a huge play right there.
That's a top 10, top 5 corner play by Carlton Davis. Absolutely.
JPP's third interception today.
Yep.
Third interception.
And I want to see. I got this for Bucs fans. I want to see all the fans that were very critical of this back end. I want to see their Facebook post, and I want to see them give the credit to where credit is due for this young secondary, namely a Carlton Davis, namely a Sean Murphy-Bunting, and a Winfield and a Whitehead. I want to see that, and of course, an Edwards.
I want to give one more game ball. I want to give a game ball to Byron Leftwich.
Okay.
To Byron Leftwich for running the ball.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Absolutely. And you kind of wonder what Bruce Arians incorporating more of his say into this offensive game plan. Maybe that was also Bruce in his ear saying, you know what, we got to run the ball more. And they did today, and it was successful.
And also put Scotty Miller back in the game, and look what happened.
Well, exactly. And there's a place for Scotty Miller, and even Stephen Che of Barstool Sports mentioned this. They were running Antonio Brown out of the backfield. You get Scotty Miller on the field, but you look when Miller's on the field, how much he can do with his speed. He opened up that defense. Absolutely. I like Scotty Miller. I definitely think.
I just got one thing. I'm going to say fire the cannons and go Bucs.
There you go, Anwar. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you. We'll fire the cannons as the Bucs beat the Minnesota Vikings 26-14 to move to 8-5, eclipse that win total of last year. Next up, the Atlanta Falcons. Want to hear from you guys. What did you see out of this game? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the Sports Web, live on Bucs Report from the Deck Bar and Grill in Isla del Sol. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. So what are you looking at right now?
I'm looking at Rojo over his rushing per game over the season, and I'm looking back, and it's a story, the tale of the tape. Of course, for week 1 against New Orleans, 17 rushes, but then Carolina week 2, he has only 7 rushes. Then he has 13 in week 3 against Denver, and then Against the Chargers, he has 20, and the Bucs have a nice victory. And just the games, of course, go back.
I wondered, is there some type of correlation there, Tampa Bay Ray? Well, tell me, where's how many carries does he have every game when they win?
Well, he's averaging right around 20 carries per game.
Amazing.
Or more, and he had 18 carries today for 80 yards. So,
amazing.
Yeah, it seems like the narrative starts to fit the story or vice versa.
Right.
And that's what we're talking about. Of course, they said, well, we abandoned the run against the Los Angeles Rams or the Kansas City Chiefs early. Both were 27-24s, and we know they weren't that close, those games.
How many carries did you have in that game? How many carries did Rojo have in that game?
Rojo had 10 carries against the Rams, and he had 9 carries against the Chiefs. And, of course, against the Chiefs, he was averaging 8.3
So 19
yards per
carries
carry.
in 2 games, 26 carries in this game. How many carries did you have in the Panthers game? Over 30, right? You still win. You win those games.
Yes, sir.
So what's that tell you?
The more the victim of volume gets the ball, the better the chances of the Bucs getting a victory.
There you go. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It ain't rocket science. All right? It ain't. I watched football for a long time. Hell, I think my mom told me I was coming out of the room watching football.
I'll bet you were.
Honestly, she tells the story all the time. I come out like a football.
You run
out of a
straight
football.
down the middle.
That's it. You're an idiot. All right. Let's go back out to the web heads here. Read these comments from these guys. All right. So, we got Ron. So we'll go out to Ron. Ron. You've been kind of negative, but I get it. You're trying to be real. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. What did you think of that Bucs big win today?
Oh, come on, man! You must be talking to Rick, dude. I was going back and forth with him earlier. I had to be like, hey, man, okay, what can I say? I guess it's not negative, but hey, man, I don't know, man. I think I'm negative when. But I don't think I'm any more negative than any other Bucs fan.
Okay, that's fair.
And but like, and hey, let's say, man, one thing I'm a devout, passionate fan. I mean, this game kicks off at 3 a.m. here around that. But there is no way I'm missing the Bucs game. And obviously, I'm really happy with the win, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we did what we needed to do. The slower start was a little concerning initially.
Sure.
And just a couple things that I saw, but bottom line is. We kept it together, and man, the defense. I think a lot of those plays that we got to Cousins, Pete, Ray. I think we did it before. I mean, I don't think we were.
Yeah.
Another great thing.
That's the thing. And look, when you can get there with 3 or 4 guys, then basically what that's telling me is that your coverage team in the back did a good job today, and a lot of those were kind of coverage sacks.
Yes, sir.
So
absolutely, yeah.
What else?
But, no, man, and I'm very happy with the win. We saw more runs than maybe we had been accustomed to, and like you said, we see the difference it makes. I mean, it's a great win. It's a great win. I think I don't see why this team can't get into the playoffs, and I was very pleased to see on both sides of the ball we did what we had to do, and to get this win. I'm happy.
I think a lot of people are happy, and again, it's not the prettiest day for Tom Brady and his statistics, not the prettiest day for Mike Evans, not the prettiest day for Antonio Brown, but at the end of the day, no turnovers. Relatively kept Brady clean in this game, right?
I can remember. Hey, Ron, you probably can attest to this. I'm sure we all can. I can remember many games in New England as a Patriots that Tom Brady didn't light the world on fire. He just didn't make the big mistakes. And again, today, he didn't have through the roof stats. He'll still have he may have a 400-yard passing game sometime over the next 3 weeks, maybe against the Lions at 2 weeks. But he didn't make a big mistake today. He did just enough to win and be the veteran leadership that the Buccaneers needed under quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, are the Vikings a great defense? No, they're not a great defense, and he took advantage of it today.
They were playing for their playoff lives today. They were playing.
They were, and they gave the Bucs plenty of opportunities. And sometimes it's better to be lucky. Sometimes you got to be lucky. You got to get a little lucky. And look, the Bucs definitely they took advantage of the situation with Dan Bailey missing those field goals and the extra point. That's points off the board. So, what else, bud?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys agree, but if you put those 9 even on the board, I mean, the Bucs still. I think we still managed to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
But still, like you missed 3 field goals. I understand it changed the complexity of the game.
Sure does.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Brady looked good enough. I mean, he didn't turn the ball. We didn't have unnecessary turnovers, and I loved how our defense it was awesome. I mean, they had a 1st and goal, guys, And so was it 2 sacks that drove them back. It took them, changed the whole.
It's another thing. It's another drive there where Minnesota gets close and you push them back, and that's a big goal. Yeah, your defense pushes them back. I mean, that was the key today. Your defense. We're talking about missed field goals, and the reason why you're talking about missed field goals is because your defense is good enough and they're stout enough to hold that team to field goals.
Exactly.
You don't let them get in the red zone. You don't let them cash in. You stop them. You got to have your defense, and that's what you've been missing kind of this last couple games, besides maybe the second half.
I think I know what you were talking about, Pete, there about the negativity, though, because I kind of got a little bit trigger happy, and because I know we kept talking about slow start. And when we do, we start the game off, and it looks a little bit bleak there for a moment.
Yep.
And I'm sending you the roll of the eyes. And he probably thinks, man, it's already he's already doing the freaking.
Absolutely. I just say relax, Bucs fans. Relax, webheads. Relax. You got Tom Brady, and there's a reason why you got Tom Brady, because he's not going to commit those mistakes.
But Ron, make no mistake about it. It's paradise out here, and we're out here on the deck at the Deck Bar and Grill at Isla del Sol, right? And we're out here, and there's palm trees and a breeze, and we're sitting over here and getting some sun watching. I
needed some sun today, by the way. So thank you.
But there was some tense moments there in that first quarter when those Vikings were moving the ball. You never had the feeling the Bucs couldn't or wouldn't come back. But man, they got to get, because hey, the Chiefs showed us, and the Rams showed us, and the Saints sure as hell showed us. We can't get off to a slow start and always expect to come back. So look for the Bucs to continue improving in that area, but definitely love the fact that in the second quarter they brought it back, had the nice drive. They come out in the third quarter with that great drive. That's Buccaneer football. That's victory football.
And of course, you get on the board with that big play to Scotty Miller, and it's nice to see. And we talked about it. Brady at the beginning of the game is inaccurate to Godwin. He's inaccurate to Gronk, and those lead to 3 and outs. But look, you get a big play. It changes the complexion of the game. We understand, why Bruce Arians wants to run that type of offense, but I don't think that's set up with that one-on-one coverage unless you have the threat of a running game.
And Anthony O'Clair, when he put it, even though you're double coverage and they're impeding on you, they put it in your hands like that. You got to make that catch, brother. I know you're maybe known more for your blocking than your catching, but if you're in there and TB's throwing you the football and it touches your palms, you got to make that catch, bro.
You really do.
Catch.
But, neither here nor there. You get the win. It's not necessarily the prettiest one, but it's a win, and you're 8-5, moving on to the Atlanta Falcons. What else,
Moving
Ron?
on up.
Yep, to the east side.
No, and I thought it was really nice how we did get those scores that we got, the way that those touchdown drives that we were able to get, and it's really still a double-digit win, too. I guess anytime you look at it, and obviously the defense was a contribution as well. I mean, you need both sides of the ball. But I still see some room, too, that we can, this offense can put up, we know we're capable of putting up a lot of points.
Sure.
Even more than we put up today.
Well, and look, and you're exactly right. They had some missed opportunities, and give credit to where credit is due. That Vikings team, they get paid too, but you got to definitely still clean some of that stuff up. But again, I think it goes back to the run-pass differential. I'm okay with Brady throwing the ball 23 times as long as you're running the ball 26 times. I'm okay with that. To me, that's winning football. It may not, again, be the prettiest, but it's winning football. You'll take it.
I think Thielen playing against Thielen and Jefferson today is a nice warm-up for the Buccaneers this week going against the NFC South Division, those Atlanta Falcons, because now they're going to see Julio, and they're going to see Matty Ice throwing out biscuit around.
And Ridley. Julio and Ridley.
And Ryan's not as big of a threat to run. Cousins will pull it down and run faster. Ryan will do what's necessary. But that was a good warm-up game for the Buccaneers to face that Atlanta Falcons passing game this week. Hope they can continue to carry that positivity in the next game.
Absolutely. All right, let me go ahead and fire those cannons for you, Ron. Appreciate the call. Definitely use that second call, all right, my friend?
All right, Pete. Thanks, guys.
All right, appreciate you. There you go. All right, I want to go out to the webheads here. Once again, read these comments, and then we'll get back to it. 8-5 sounds so good. Go Bucs. Carl says 11-5. Here we come. I like it. Cornell says better than 7-9. Michael with the thumbs up. Tim says 80 yards for the VOV, victim of volume. Cornell playoffs, here we come finally. Andre, we need to run the ball more. Thank you. You definitely need, but 26 times a day is good. I think that's a good run pass differential.
To 23 passes, and we get the victory.
Amazing.
Yes.
Dave says JPP is the man. Andrew says, how about that 8-5 Bucs, baby? Heard Brady couldn't throw over 20 yards. Heard once the Bucs are behind, we quit. By the way, the bandwagon is full. Playoffs. Let me go ahead and give it Jim. Yes.
Playoffs?
Yes.
Don't talk about
Jim.
Playoffs?
We are talking
You
about
kidding
it.
me?
Yes.
Playoffs?
We are talking about playoffs. Bucs cover and the under. David says, finally, We're closing games out. Great all-around win. Peter, they bring the passion. They bring the excitement. They didn't bring any nonsense. Ryan Suckup for president. Let's go ahead and fire those cannons for that. I like it, David. Ben says, great game, Bucs, 8-5. Let's go. Deshaun, we'll take the win. Still have work to do. Let's see. Good day, gentlemen. Nice win. Go Bucs. Thank you very much. Sue Barrett and JPP showed up today. Michael says, laugh out loud, bark. I don't know what that is. Great rush from our front four. Still can be better, but we are a team that cannot slip against the teams that beat us. Execute. We didn't let that happen. Go Bucs, says Carlos. Cornell. Brady still missing the big passes. Again, he had some missed passes
but
today.
that one to Scotty Miller,
Yes.
forget about that.
Well,
he drops that in.
But he missed Godwin in the middle, and there was plenty of field there. I get that. He's trying to he's trying to put the ball in a specific place there because the linebacker's over the top. So he's kind of worried about throwing the interception, but he missed. Godwin was wide open. He had some throws today. He missed. Again, not the best effort by Tom Brady,
but on that Godwin
effective
throw,
enough.
Wasn't it almost because the line gave him so much time? I mean, he held the ball 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. He starts to realize I've held the ball too long, and that's when he got a little bit skittish on that throw, I thought.
A little bit. All right, let's go back out to the Webheads. Bailey cost his team 10 points. Dave says he missed 10 points. Carlos says, I mean, it's Dalvin Cook. Cool. Like, what are you saying? Misador, why the F is Shaq in pass coverage in 3rd and 6? What in the actual you-know-what? I guess Misador not very happy with Shaq being in pass coverage, but I thought Shaq played a very good game. What did you say?
Oh, Shaq was definitely trying. How close was he on a couple of other plays?
Yeah.
But again, you're going to pick your poison with this Buccaneers defensive line. If you're going to try to take Shaq out of the game, you're going to open it up for Sue to get off, and Shaq and Sue. Now you're going to let JPP get in there.
Yeah.
Even Pat O'Connor's going to get in there.
Yeah.
The quarterback makes the wrong turn, and all of a sudden you got huge Mr. Pat O'Connor on top of him. So you're going to pick your poison with this Buccaneers defense.
You're absolutely going to. We played great against the run. I mean, I think there were moments today where the tackling wasn't that great, and it kind of snaps a streak of 21 games where the Bucs.
It was going to happen.
Right.
I mean, look at it. Running
Dalvin Cook
face.
is a very, very talented running back, and I disagree with Ed. He's one of the best running backs in the NFL, period.
So 21 games. We're 13 games now into 2000. So I think the last 100-yard rusher we had was that. We were talking today about this, the running back from Tennessee.
Yep.
Was it Henry, Derrick Henry, the last 100-yard rusher?
I don't think he was a 100-yard rusher. I don't know. That's a great question. I'll have to look it up. Yeah, definitely. Look it up. All right. Davis played great today, says Dave. Tim, Dalvin Cook is the best running back in the NFC. Agree. I know you don't want to hear this, but Dalvin Cook should be a Buccaneer. Terrible pick by Light. I agree with you on that. And I said that from the very get-go. Putting my Seminole allegiance aside, I felt like Dalvin Cook should have been the pick. I know there were some extenuating circumstances off the field, but I thought he was the most talented player at number 19. Love O.J. Howard. I think, the potential, the sky's the limit, but at the end of the day, this offense has always needed a player like a Dalvin Cook. But you know what? They got one in the victim of volume, and Ronald Jones, 18 carries for 80 yards. You'll take it all day long. What do you guys think? Bucs move to 8-5, 727-255. 0391 at 727-255-0391. Live from the Deck Bar and Grill. It's the Sports Web, powered by 320solar.com. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Let's go back out to the comments here and read that. So Ron says, love it. This is playoffs. We need to get better every day to get Lombardi. Cornell says, I agree. Deshaun says, Brady was 15 for 23. Dave, got to stop with the long ball on 3rd and short. We saw that today early with Gronkowski. I know you didn't necessarily like that play call, but to be fair, if you complete that, that's a big play, but you don't. And then you basically give the Vikings the opportunity. And look, it wasn't all unicorns and rainbows for this team. At the beginning of the game, the Vikings clearly dominated in most of the first quarter with time of possession, with doing whatever they wanted to, and they were running the ball and doing whatever they wanted to. And the Bucs offense didn't help out their defense because he had 3 and outs.
That first half, I mean, we talked about it like towards the halfway or almost 3/4 of the way through the second quarter. That's weird, 3/4 through the second quarter.
Yes.
But if the possession time, 25 minutes versus like 6 minutes, and you're like thinking this is exactly what your defense doesn't want you to do.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it wasn't Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, or, it wasn't the Rams we were playing against. I'm not putting that Minnesota offense down, but fortunately we were able to gather ourselves back together and then reverse the trend and the Buccaneers were out on the field more in the second half.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Agree. So we read that comment. Dave says we won, so it is all good again. Kim says, how many times was TB12 sacked today? How many times was TB12 sacked today? Can you give me that stat?
I'm going to have to look that up.
Look that up for me, buddy. I don't think it was very much. They kept him clean. And that was also a point of emphasis. It's always a point of emphasis when you have a 43-year-old quarterback. Let's go out to Rick. Of course, Rick Hughes from the cheap seats and what's cooking in the South. Your thoughts, my friend, on a Bucs big victory. Not the prettiest one, but they eclipsed the win total of last year with 8-5, 26-14 over the Minnesota Vikings. Welcome to the Evolution.
Hey, how you like that? Is that that's the Bucs fans? You like that?
You like that? I
Yeah,
bet they do. I definitely think they do. I think a lot of Bucs fans like that. Although, if you want to be nitpicky about it, Tom Brady didn't necessarily have his best game. He missed some throws in this game. But, Rick, I always go back to the victim of volume. 18 carries for 80 yards from Ronald Jones, including a touchdown in the run-pass differential, 26-23. That, to me, is the key to the game.
Listen, man, they just soundly beat a team that was in a playoff position.
Yep.
Okay, we can dance around it. We can say whatever we want.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it was not a perfect game.
No.
Yes, that's correct. It was not a perfect game. Not even close. I don't care. I mean, when it comes down to it, if you're not happy after this game, you're not going to be happy.
No.
I mean, okay, you're right. He missed some open passes. He did not have a perfect game.
No.
Tom Brady didn't. Okay. In the meantime, while everybody's completely blasting him on Facebook saying what a horrible quarterback he is, the Buccaneers are putting out a tweet that he's right now has the second most touchdowns, I believe it was.
29 touchdowns now to 11 interceptions.
Of any Bucs quarterback ever. Only 11 interceptions.
Yep.
So let's flash back to last year in the 30-30 season.
Sure.
Now everybody gets some perspective.
Because everybody is so fascinated with big-time numbers. They love the 300 yards. They love the 350. You get 350, you lose. Oh, well, the quarterback got 350. Who gives a damn?
You know what my favorite number is? You said it earlier, 98. 98% chance the Bucs are in the playoffs.
Yeah, say it again. 98% chance. Right. Yeah.
So everybody griping and complaining. Listen, man, they've already won more games than last year, and there's 3 games to go.
Yes.
And this was the toughest of the Final Four.
Thank you.
Okay.
Although people would try to convince you that the Atlanta Falcons may give the Bucs difficulty, and they very well may be.
It's a division game, man.
Right.
Yeah, it's a division game.
Sure.
Okay, let's say they split with the Falcons. Okay, they're going to beat Detroit, I think. All right. I mean, look, guys, there's nothing to be unhappy about. And so this is what it feels like to be on the other side of a bad kicker.
Right.
I was wondering what that felt like.
Wow.
So,
yeah. Cost you what? 10 points today. 10 points off the board.
I mean, we've been in that position how many times?
And
plenty of times. And I'm tired of that position. And I tell you right now, you could see the confidence that this team has. Will you shut up and be quiet? I didn't go off there. 48 yards from Ryan Suckup. Never doubted it. And then, of course, the field goal at the end. Some controversy, I guess. You're on the 1 yard line with an untimed down. You like that decision to go for the field goal, the 19-yarder, instead of trying to punch it in at the 1 yard line, right?
I get it either way. I mean, I understand it. I'm
not
upset by the call. Would it have been nice to see? Do I think Ronald Jones could have punched it in from one? Yes, I think he could have. Probably would have.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 points is 3 points. You take it.
Rick, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Go back to the Chicago game. Go back to a game earlier this year where the Bucs had to they wanted to get the ball, to continue with that ball, to kill the clock. Bruce Arians from 5 weeks ago, when the Bucs have 4th down in the 4th quarter, and there's only 5 minutes left on the clock, and they're on the Vikings 35-yard line?
Right.
Does the Bruce Arians from 5 weeks ago go for it on 4th down to continue retaining?
Oh, you mean the
ball?
Bears? The Bears. You go for the Bears game.
No, and I honestly think I'm not sure.
Well, tell me,
this game played out pretty much exactly like I think most of us said it was going to.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the fact, give Dalvin Cook his due.
Absolutely.
All right. He did what he did. I didn't think he was going to run, run for that many yards. But let me say this. He ran for a whole lot of yards, but he didn't do a whole lot of damage.
That's it.
No.
Didn't do a whole lot of damage. He extended some drives, but for the key for me is the giving up the big plays in the passing game and of course the running game. Did you have a lot of big runs today? Not really. You didn't have those big plays, those explosives, which a lot of defensive coordinators want to eliminate, and they were able to do that versus the Vikings team.
Well, the entire reason is because they didn't fall way behind fast.
Correct.
Okay,
Thank you.
6 points,
Right.
But then they took the lead, even if it was 7-7.
Right.
You're not way behind the 8 ball immediately, and that's what changes all the explosive plays. And that's why I've been saying to everybody, don't freak out on the secondary. They've been put in a horrible position.
Yep. You're right. You're right.
So this is what happens when when you do come back and score in the first half. When you do, this is what happens on their second drive. They scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
And got the extra point.
That's it.
I mean, this is what you see. We're probably not looking at a Super Bowl team. Maybe they are. You never know with the NFC. But the bottom line is this: what you're looking at right now is a very good playoff team who could be dangerous against anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter who the Buccaneers play in the playoffs, they got a shot at them. And, man, how long has it been? How long has it been?
Long time.
You know what? Guess what? We're going to get to watch playoff football, guys.
Yes, we are.
The only thing you should be questioning is how the heck you're going to get tickets.
Well, and I'll tell you right now, most likely they're going to start off on the road.
I don't care.
Right.
Fine. You get travel. I mean,
well, we'll see where they're going to travel to. Could it be the Giants? Could it be Philadelphia? Could it be the Rams? If it ended today, could be the Rams. So
I think it's probably going to be the Rams or Packers.
Right. Sure. That's tough. But look, when the Bucs play their game, they beat the Packers this year. They only lost by 3 to the Rams. They play their game. And they have a game plan like this, I think they can win. I do.
I would kind of like to see the Rams again.
I'd like to see them too. I like to see them too.
I want the Saints again. I want the Saints again. I'm sorry.
I think eventually I want the Saints again.
Mm-hmm.
But let's taste a little playoff victory first.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Go in there with that confidence. That
Saints are going to have the bye anyway. I think they're going to be the team that has the bye in the playoffs. Of course, they may get caught by the Rams, I guess.
Philadelphia. Yeah. Well, no, that would be would be the Rams.
Right now, it's
Rams or Seattle.
Rams or Seattle, but
no, it's not Arizona. It's not that they wouldn't get caught by Arizona. It would be either the Rams or Seattle.
I got to tell you though, Rick,
it would be the lowest ranked NFL, the lowest ranked.
Well, what he's saying is the number 1 seed. He believes that the Saints are going to have the number 1 seed.
I mean,
most likely they're going to have
locked, but yeah, I'd say
they're in
right
the
now.
playoffs. But if they stumble, then Seattle and the Rams would be in contention.
So we'll
but
get
I
that
agree.
first taste of playoff victory,
Right.
and then the second week maybe we go and we play at New Orleans. Maybe we go back down to the Big Easy and take care of some business.
But first things first, you got to take care of your business on the table with the 3 games.
What's the most important game, guys?
Every game from here on out.
The
Every
next
game from here on out. Right, exactly.
I got to tell you though, Rick, I disagree with you. 5 weeks ago, Bruce, because they were up by 9, the field goal put them up by 12. Either way, it's still 2 scores. 5 weeks ago, Bruce Arians would have went for it on 4th down instead of kicking the 47-yard field goal. The Bruce Arians we saw today is the same one that kicked the field goal on the last untimed down in the first half. This coach is learning on the fly and continuing to get better, and I think the team's going to react to that in a positive way, and you're going to see the best Buccaneers from here on out.
No, I think that's true. I think you're probably right about that.
I think so.
Hey, guys, tonight on the show, by the way, I want to say this and then I'll let you go. Tonight at 9 on Live from the Cheap Seats, we got a new segment called Stupid Blank Bucs Fans Say.
I love this. You've seen it?
Bucs Fans Say. And I've got some gold that I've kept.
Oh, good.
Oh, I love that. We love that. So definitely Rick Hughes from the Cheap Seats tonight, live here on Bucs
9
Report
p.m., baby.
at 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
You guys have a great night.
We'll see you then, Rick.
All right, let me go ahead and fire those cannons for you right there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the Sports Web live from the Deck Bar and Grill. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Best of the Bay, Mr. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, Cup of Ray.
Look at
What
us
do you
on
say?
a 55-inch television.
I know, it's beautiful, isn't it?
I'm
I'm looking at it. I'm trying to that's a great shot there, Tampa Bay.
Beautiful.
Ray.
And
Beautiful.
We got the
it's a 4K camera right there.
Got the Raiders.
I'll just watch this right here. We'll even look at
the
the camera and do a show. We'll just look right there.
What the heck?
Right.
Put the comments up.
All right. Idiot. All right, let's go here. Yes, he is a pop factor for sure in McCoy. We should use him more. Definitely, McCoy came through today from our resident troll, the Troll King now, Mr. Roger Shu. Bears win 36-7. Congratulations, you're still not in the playoffs. All right, let's see here. We should use him more. Carlos says, well, let's go out to Harry the Greek. Harry, your thoughts on this Bucs big win over the Minnesota Vikings, 26-14. What do you have to say, my friend?
Absolutely loved the game. They covered the spread. They went under. That was just awesome to watch. And like I said, and everybody else was saying, run the football.
Thank you. I mean, what's so hard about it? What is so hard about running the football with a guy who, by the way, has 400-yard games this year? I mean, did we forget that? Are we in the twilight zone? I mean, what's going on? Look at the statistics. Look at what he's doing. What is he, only 100 yards away from 1,000? You give it to him 18 times for 80 yards, he makes big plays. You give it to him, you have balance to your offense. You run 26 times to 23, you win games.
Oh, yeah.
We looked at it, statistics. Give me the statistics again, please.
Which one's
the rushing? The rushing attempts.
We ran it 26 times.
I mean, it's not hard. It's not hard. You got to have balance to your game. I don't care what anybody says. You can throw the ball 40 times a game.
Even Keyshawn Vaughn's negative law, even his Keyshawn Vaughn.
Yes.
Even his
not Tyler.
Not Tyler.
Yes.
Not Steven Tyler.
No.
Even his negative rush still makes the defense say, hey, the Bucs may rush the ball, so we have to play for that too. Anything that helps the offense throw the passing game is a good thing, right?
Yeah, and Harry, we talked about it on the halftime show. When you're starting to run, the tendency is when you're running the ball on first down, then it's going to open up that play action and then open it up today for Mike Evans with that 29-yard pass. That's not open unless your defense is trying to account for it. The defense is basically trying to come up there and stop the running game on first down. Guess what? You're done. One-on-one coverage of Mike Evans. I like Evans all day long.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And, you could see it, too, because when they were running the ball as effectively as they were, Minnesota's corners and safeties kept having to keep peeking into the backfield to see if they were going to do it.
Right.
And that's why the play action looked so good.
Yeah.
And to the other caller that was criticizing one of the deep balls that Brady missed, the one was just overthrown.
Sure.
He wasn't pressured or anything. The other deep ball, you're not going to complete them all.
Sure.
But the reason why you dropped a dime on Scotty Miller was because they were running the ball effectively. And it really came to light in the second half. You could see it in Minnesota. Although they gave it everything they possibly could, Minnesota was a formidable opponent, but Tampa still covered the spread. It was awesome to see. It's another W, and they're not losing twice. I mean, they're not going to lose one of the two games to the Falcons.
No, they're not.
They are going to finish 11-5. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right about that. And I think the other thing to take in consideration is, this defense, we said it today, Harry, they had to step up. You had to put pressure on Kirk Cousins. 6 sacks. Ndamukong Suh, you said, I think to me in the pre-show, you like to see more of Ndamukong Suh, the old Ndamukong Suh, even during the game. And we saw that today. We saw a man possessed.
Yeah, we saw it a little bit last week when they went in close on him or 2 weeks ago during a Chiefs game, and they're like, well, Ndamukong looks like he's clueless. But really what I saw was a tsunami. I saw an Ndamukong Suh from a couple of years ago, and I saw an Ndamukong Suh that's dedicated inside. You get Suh and JPP and the boys on the line, that front end pressure, letting that back end shine. I always say it every time. A great front end makes up for a bad back end.
There you go.
And Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, they combined for about 76 or 78 yards.
Yeah.
It was the other two receivers that nobody knows about or talks about that actually gave them a little bit of problems. And Tampa's defense, the only negative of this whole deal is they got exposed a little bit on that running game.
I agree.
Just a little bit. They went. I think Minnesota. I didn't get the final tallies. They had to run for more than $150 in that game.
I think they did, and Cousins was a part of that with his career day with rushing because he's not a mobile quarterback, but he was able to get out on some runs and convert some.
They were going to do anything it took. They were playing for their playoff lives. You were again. I used the term earlier. A hurt dog. A hurt dog. You don't want to fight a hurt dog. Hurt dog's going to do what it takes. And the Vikings, they were throwing to their 6th-string tight ends today, and they were making catches. These guys came in to play. Buccaneers took their best shot, came off the ropes like Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, you mentioned Irv Smith. He had a touchdown in this game to get the Vikings back in there, and some Bucs fans going, "Oh no, not again!" But a defense was able to close it down and make the play at the end of the game with JPP so big. I mean, talk about JPP and Shaq Barrett in this game, Harry. What was your thoughts on that?
They played really, really, really well. But going back to Kirk Cousins, a lot of those runs weren't designed. You got to really
yeah.
give a standing ovation to Tampa's defense, especially their secondary, because those were coverage scrambles.
Yes, sir.
Because he didn't have anywhere to throw the football.
Exactly.
And the rush was getting into his face. So credit the defensive line, the front seven, credit the back end of it, because they had nowhere to go. As we alluded to before, not even allude, what we said from before, that style of defense was perfect against Minnesota's passing game.
Harry.
Because he wants to go vertical.
Harry.
He couldn't.
Who do you have? Who'd you have? I'm sorry to take you off your mark here, but who'd you have? I see the Raiders are up 14-10 over the Colts in the second quarter. What was your pick on that game today?
I really didn't like it, but if I had to lean one way, I kind of liked the Raiders in that game.
Mm-hmm.
The games that I really liked, I was 3 for 3, almost 4 for 4 right now.
You
If
bet the Bears.
Covers, it'll be 5 for 5.
You
the
always
only ones
say
that
you
I
don't
really
bet the
gave
Bears.
on our show was the Bucs and the under game.
Yep, you're exactly right. And you told me to bet on the Bears today. Bears, a big win, 36-7 over the Texans. Texans got awful today versus that Bears defense. Defense steps up. Trubisky steps up. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to 8-5, eclipsing that win total. Playoffs, yes. And then that becomes a reality of the situation. The last time the Bucs were in the playoffs was the year that Tom Brady was undefeated. Consequently, who did the Bucs face that year? The New York Giants, who ended up winning the Super Bowl, of course.
Yes, sir. They ended up, beating the Patriots.
That's a real blast from the past.
There you go.
Cow,
there
Peter,
you go.
You got a great memory.
Thank you.
I remembered that, too. I just let him have the take.
Whatever, man.
Come on.
Shut up.
Playoffs.
I got to tell you, man, it's been so much fun being part of the family and Bucs Report. I mean, I've always quietly rooted for the Buccaneers, but everybody knows that I'm a week-to-week guy.
Mm-hmm.
I handicap a lot of games, but it's really exciting being a Buck fan right now. It truly is.
It's a good time.
It really is. And you know what? I got a message for everybody who is either a Buck fan or not a Buck fan. Jump on the bandwagon.
That's
It's a lot of fun. Get out to Isla Deck Bar and Grill, because I'm telling you, it's a fantastic time. There were a lot of people out there. The food was good. The drinks are flowing. You've got the watch party going on. It was just a really, really solid time.
It was, and definitely come on back. Next week, we'll have you on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, powered by 320solar.com. There you go. Good stuff. Harry, anything else, buddy?
No, it's just a great win. Can't wait till next week. The NFC picture for the playoffs have really opened up now since Minnesota has lost, because now 3 other teams are sneaking right back into it.
That's it, and that's why the pressure is, of course, always on the Bucs. I mean, every game is, important, and the Bucs got to continue to stack those victories, and they get hot. Look out. I don't think there's a team out there that wants to play them, even the LA Rams, and that may be the matchup you could be looking at in the first round. We'll see. Harry, good stuff. Appreciate you. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons for you right there. And we'll definitely see you throughout the week. All right, boss?
Have a great day, guys.
All right, good stuff there. Harry the Greek, open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The soda tastes better. The food tastes better. It's going to be a great week.
Yes, it is.
There's not going to be a lot of angry Bucs fans. They're going to be on their Facebook tonight talking about, the secondary was bad. Oh, Tom Brady was bad.
Fire Todd
This
Bowles.
was bad. Fire this. Fire
Leftwich.
that. It's going to be a lot better. It's okay. Bucs are 8-5. They still have work to do. Was it the prettiest victory?
8-5,
no,
though,
but you're
really?
8-5.
I mean, seriously,
Right.
8-5. I mean,
Right.
how many years?
Yes.
Like I said today, we've made the playoffs 10 times in 44 years.
Playoffs.
3 times under John McKay, 4 times under Tony Dungy, and 3 times under John Gruden, but only one of those counted because we actually took home the cup.
And I don't think this team is satisfied. Again,
No,
Tom
this
Brady
team
didn't
is
come to
not.
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to just win a playoff game or two.
I'm just
They
glad
came
that-
here to finish the deal.
I just we didn't want to see the narrative being, Tom was undefeated on Thursday nights.
Mhm.
Tom's never lost to the same division team twice in the same year, and all this other stuff that the kind of, the Buccaneers, but they're still 8-5. And I said this last week, and I'll say it again, being I guess you could say I'm the historian writer, if you will, of Bucs Report.
Yes, you are.
There is still a whole lot of story. There's a great narrative to be written, and Bucs Report's going to be here to help you learn.
Absolutely. The
Get
Deck
it.
Bar
Love it.
and Grill in Isla del Sol. A beautiful day
It's
out
nice
today.
now, right?
It is.
I told
like
you the
shot.
money would be at the sunset, right?
I would like the sun to be like this at the beginning, so I would be able to see the comments. So I tell you what, let's go out to the webhead comments here. We'll read these, reading what they have to say here. Fournette was 1A, though. Can you say that? Or NA, inactive. He was. Rojo is the number 1 back, no question. Cornell, we have 3 top backs. We should use all 3 to open up the passing game. Corey says, good win. Dave says, Sue was the truth today. Deshaun, Sue and Shaq. Shaq had 2. Sue had 1. I thought Sue had 2.
Sue had 1. Shaq had 2. Winfield had 1. And then Pat O'Connor had 1. Total of 6.
Shady was 4 for 32, 8 per carry. Deshaun says 8 different players caught different passes. Exactly. No need for Brady to have to throw 45 times for us to win. His numbers show he did what he had to do to win. They helped the supporting cast on offense. Great play calling today on offense. Give Byron credit today. Absolutely. Shady should have been 11 for 78. Carlton says Dan Bailey for president. I agree with that. Tim says overall I'm happy about the game. However, the defense not getting off the field on 3rd and 4. 4th downs had me a little bit nervous. They had their moments today. Shady had 4 carries for 32 yards. We have mentioned that. Cornell, I told you about the defense. You could see them coming together before the half. Tim says, should we send Dan Bailey the game ball? Should we do that?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and fire those cannons on that. Let's see here. Dave says, hey, Cousins, you like that? Dave says, I was worried that Jefferson was going to destroy our secondary, but they shut him down. By the way, how many catches did Jefferson and Thielen have today? Can you give me those statistics? All right. Cousins is average at best. YBN, Brady played too fast in the first quarter, was playing like he hates getting hit. YBN says Rojo played a solid game. Just hate they go away from the run. Agreed. Deshaun, Shaq has the most pressures. YBN, Nacho played good too. Absolutely. YBN, Nelson came up with a big sack. Anthony Nelson, one of my guys. It was good to see Shady produce on the ground. Seems we need to implement him over Fournette, especially in the passing game. YBN, Scotty is fast, period. YBN again, Rojo had a solid game. Absolutely. Running straight down the middle. Good one, Rick. YBN, Leftwich calls plays. Brady throws. Brady needs to settle down and let the receivers become open and let Arians, our receivers, become open. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you there. Once again, great food, great service here at the Deck Bar and Grill. Says, I don't want to knock you down there, knock you over. So going back to this, Leftwich calls plays, Brady throws. Brady needs to settle down and let the receivers become open. And like Arian said, our receivers became open. YBN, again, to be honest, the Minnesota kicker was our most valuable player. Christopher Cole, no blowout, but a win is a win. Defense was there, but still the kicker played a big part in this win. Absolutely. Good, ugly win after the bye. Ron says he may have been referring to Gronk that he had open earlier on. Absolutely. Last 100-yard rusher was Chris Carson, week 9. That's true, I believe. Chris Carson. That was a Seattle game. Remember?
Yes, I do
remember
shootout.
Now. Yes.
Oh, by the way, Thielen and Jefferson both had combined 7 catches for a complete 78 yards between the two of them. Your 2 biggest receivers for the Vikings today were their tight ends, Irv Smith with 4 and Tyler Conklin with 5.
There you go. So not to be confused with Jay Conklin or Kerry Conklin.
Not to be confused with
I don't know who Conklin is. Conklin
Irv Smith.
Irv Smith, yeah. Out of Alabama?
No, I'm just saying Irv. I'm just thinking about. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know what you said. Okay. He's tackling solid. O'Connor also made a couple key plays. Ron says good depth on defensive line to have. Ethan says, I miss me some Vea. YBN, Nacho Roches played good too. Ron says, such good. Got some angles push that you could tell was allowing Shaq and other guys to get in and get closer to Cousins. YBN again. Just a good defensive line rotation today. Sue, Ron says, sure did. Adds to the depth and the line depth. YBN, that was a playoff game. That it was. With a solid defense and offense that turns even more. No way we shouldn't get to the playoffs. Doesn't turn it over. I think that's what he was saying. Ron, again, even complete once. I think he's saying once complete win there. Yeah, we should make the playoffs, but I want to see how we play once we get in. We hate cold time games, but you're really not going to, besides Green Bay, I mean, really, can you think of a situation, Philadelphia Eagles, I think they're pretty much out of it. Possibly the New York Giants you may play. But right now, from what I've saw, it's going to be the Bucs and the Rams if the playoffs started today. Of course, some things still need to be settled.
Right.
And again, you talk about it. The Saints have a game tonight versus the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll see how that all plays out.
You know what I like? I was looking at this, and I'm sorry I'm getting off while you're doing the comments, but I saw that the Vikings' 3rd or 7th receiver down was a receiver born and raised in Buffalo, New York, by the name of Chad Beebe.
Chad Beebe.
You know who his father was, obviously.
That would be Don Beebe.
Don Beebe, right?
Of the
Famous
Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. One of the best. I just saw that. I just wanted to share that out there.
Very nice. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. You see Chad Beebe, and I'm like, let me look this guy up. And you look him up, and it's like he's born in Buffalo, New York. So now there's 2 strikes against you, and then you look at personal life, and it says, yeah, father was Don Beebe. So,
all right, good stuff. All right, open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the Sports Web live from the Deck Bar and Grill. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Best of the Bay Cup of Ray. What do you say?
Hey.
What else did you see out of this game that you took from it? I mean, I know we were looking at the situations with running the ball. We saw plenty of times where it was 3rd and 1, and I thought the play calling was a lot better today.
A lot better. Again, the biggest takeaway for me today was better, sound, less desperate type of coaching decisions. And again, just to reiterate, the untimed down from the 1 yard line. I don't know if Bruce Arians in his life has ever had the patience to not want to run out there. And you know what? If we lose this game, you go back and maybe I would have stood behind it 100% because I agreed with the call at the time, and I think it was a great move. And then, again, let me ask you this. We're down. Think about this. We're down 9 in the 4th quarter, 5 minutes left on their 40. No, they're 30, whatever, 35. If we get the first down, we can run the clock because they only have 2 or 1 timeout left.
Right.
We go from 9 to 12. Either way, 9 points or 12 points, it's still 2 touchdowns. But a sound coaching decision, just a typical good, solid coaching decision, not to try to go for it, give them momentum to stop us on that 4th down, just to get that first down, kick a field goal, gain the confidence of your kicker, and continue moving out. Again, we were up 2 scores either way. That field goal didn't put us another score up, but it lets everybody continue to gain that confidence and to get that security.
No, you're absolutely right. I agree with you on that.
I like the that was my takeaway, is the good, sound coaching decisions.
Some of the comments I saw, I think I'm out of the woods, being a negative fan, haha. Ron says, not just on here, but elsewhere. Fire Arians. Once again, you...
Who said that?
You troll. Yeah, Roger Shue, I don't think they're going to fire Bruce Arians with one of the winningest seasons in a long time for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team, and they're not done yet. So once again, Roger Shue, you fat finger troll out of Newport Richie, trolling out 1,000 here, doing what he does. Let's see here. Shane says Tampa Bay will be okay. You have the best quarterback in history. Let's not forget. And again, 29 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Again, not his necessarily best game. He was off on some throws, but I think effective enough. And then once again, doesn't have the big turnover.
Nope.
Doesn't have the big turnover.
Make the big
and how many
mistake.
sacks did this offensive line? Can you go ahead and look for that? How many sacks did this line give up for Brady?
Now, they have Brady down as 3 rushes for -2 yards. And so sometimes Tom's ditching and dodging for his life. But on the official stat sheet, none of the Vikings.
Was he ducking and diving? Was he playing dodgeball?
He wasn't. Yeah, duck, dive, because we did this last year. Dip, dive, duck, dodge, dodge, dip, dive, duck, and dodge.
Dodge, right.
That's it.
Well, that's what you had to do with the previous quarterback.
Well,
but what? Here's a quarterback that comes in there. Again, not the best.
But hats off. Let me go ahead and I stopped you.
Sure,
sorry,
go for it.
Buccaneer offensive line.
Yes.
How many times? And again, even on the overthrow to Godwin, almost Tom Brady had too much time. He actually held the ball. He steps up, and you can see it because they showed it again with the back camera that he does that extra step, and you almost saw he's like, what? I got extra time, and he tried to put too much into it. He went for a throw. He probably didn't. When he probably was hiking the ball, that wasn't going to be his first read. But you're talking about this Buccaneer offensive line today. I mean, how many times did we see Donovan Smith? I didn't even see.
I didn't hear from Donovan
I saw
Smith.
Wirf's pull.
I didn't see any big time sacks. I didn't see a lot of big time hits on Brady, and that's the key. That's the key.
Line.
Yes,
keeping it together.
Right.
And so you look at that, and everything again. Not the teams. Your most important game is your next game. We're not saying the Bucs are going to win the next 3 and finish 11-5 and hit the playoffs hot. What we're saying is there's a pretty good chance this team could do just that. And that's pretty exciting.
Absolutely.
85.
So, again, open phone line. Want to talk about this Bucs big victory over the Minnesota Vikings to move to 8-5.
Do you wish we would have lost so we'd get more calls?
I have no idea, but I'm going to do this right now.
Yeah. I get it. I guess.
I mean, I'm just nothing to complain about, guys, huh?
The Colts Raiders game is
you Facebook tough guys. You're quiet tonight. No talk about the secondary. No talk about
guys.
nothing. Yeah,
telephone tough
nothing.
guys, huh?
Yeah. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Again, the Bucs beat the Minnesota Vikings 26-14. The Atlanta Falcons next week. Julio Jones may not necessarily be 100%. I don't think he's ever 100%, but if he's not, then you get a break. Then you have to deal with Ridley next week. It's still a tough challenge. Let's go out to Ed. Ed, welcome back to the Evolution. What do you have to say? You're on with yours truly, along with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay, Cup of Ray.
Well, I figured since I heard the crickets, I better call back.
Yes.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
So, you guys were talking about Donovan Smith, and I think he had a pretty good game today. I usually rip him a lot. I give him a lot of heat, and on Facebook, people are still ripping Brady and ripping AB, and
I don't know why. I don't know how you can rip Brady. I really don't. I mean, again, can you have constructive criticism by saying it? And I get it. There's some sect of fans that are still in their feelings about Jameis Winston. And that's all well and good. And if you're okay with 300-yard games with losses, cool. Be a fantasy football player. But, don't hold that against Bucs fans that are happy with this. Could I say that Brady could have played better? Absolutely. Did he miss some throws today? Absolutely. Yes. But if you look at it, the run-pass differential, I keep on going back to this, 26-23 running game. We went through the statistics, and you go through the statistic again of the rushing attempts where the Bucs win. It's amazing, right?
Oh, yeah.
You have over 20 carries, you win.
On average, we're in the 20s when the Buccaneers can get a concise victory. And then when we're not,
I bet there's not a loss this year where the Bucs run for over 20 times and lose. I bet. How much you want to bet?
A lot of these guys criticize Brady, but they gotta understand, man, we're not playing with the best offensive line.
Yeah.
He's constantly having to move, and he does not like that. That's not his forte.
Well, to be fair, I still think Brady is missing throws that he wouldn't necessarily think. Either he's trying to do too much, maybe he's feeling a little bit of pressure that's not there. But overall, I thought the offensive line played very well. Now, to that credit, are the Vikings a great defense? No, they're not. They're missing Danielle Hunter. They're missing, they traded Ngagwe. Do they have any defensive playmakers? Not really. But again, we've seen it where teams will go in there and it's all about effort. And some points in this year, Donovan Smith hasn't necessarily had the best effort. This offensive line hasn't had the best effort, but give them credit.
We made very bad defenses look great.
Correct. So I don't want to hear people saying, well, the Vikings are not a great defense. Carolina Panthers aren't a great defense. It's the National Football League, which means not for long if you're not giving your best game out there.
Just to confirm here, I believe I'm right here. If the season, of course, the Cardinals still have a game in hand, but if the season were to end right now, literally, not even counting the last, we would be going to New York to play at MetLife Stadium against those Giants.
I thought it was the Rams.
Well, no, the Rams would actually be the Rams.
We could beat New York.
No, because there's two teams below us. The Rams have a higher seeding, so the Rams would play one of the two wild cards behind us. We would play the divisional winner in the East, which would be
I
the
think
Giants.
3 and 6 would play, would they not? So the Rams are third. They play the Bucs, who are 6, correct?
Well, we're not 6, we're 5.
This year because we have 2 extra teams, so it's kind of weird.
Well, wait, no, I'm sorry.
No, they're 6.
Divisions.
They're 6.
They're 6.
They're 6, so they play the Rams.
Yeah.
Well,
Co-host.
The Rams are 9 and 4.
I would rather play New York, but that's okay. Whatever.
Well, I think New York today.
I'm sorry.
Look, New York, that's okay. That's all right. It's okay.
New York.
No, I don't play New York. I don't care about New York. New York lost today, I believe, to Arizona. Did they not? So,
would you like to see the Eagles put a whooping on the Saints tonight?
I like to see that. I don't think it's going to happen.
I would like the Bucs to play the Eagles in the playoffs.
Eagles. I'd like the Bucs to play the Eagles in the playoffs.
I'm not about redoing history, but I don't know if the Eagles, what they can do tonight versus the Saints with the rookie quarterback. They certainly think they'll have an opportunity, but that offensive line is god awful. You want to talk about offensive line, and there's a lot of Bucs fans out there think the Bucs offensive line is bad. Not only injury situation, but talent alone, the Eagles are just god awful.
Plus, it's Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's really getting his
he'll be running
officials.
for his life.
Yeah,
he'll be definitely running for his life.
Talk about duck and chuck.
Duck and chuck, duck dive, and
duck dive, dodge, duck dive, dog.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know what you just said. So,
sorry,
speaking Spanish
Ray,
or something.
What are you tongue tied there?
Ray's on something. I don't know. I'm just gonna give him this right here.
I'm gonna enjoy this sunset. Okay.
Enjoy the sunset.
Do you guys know that guy?
Sun on your shoulder. What are you doing, John Denver? There is that what you're doing? All right, man. Ed, I'm gonna let you go, buddy. Go ahead. No.
Roger, do you guys know that guy? Because he likes to.
Yes, I know Roger. Roger's a troll. He's like
every game. Come on,
that's okay.
Show, right?
Well, he does. And look, I like trolls. Look, if you're a Bucs troll, you want to get on the program. I'm all about that.
Bring it.
I give you equal opportunity. Just understand that I'm an overachiever. You troll me, I'm going to troll your ass. I told you about that. So I'm going to troll that ass all day long. You troll me, I'm trolling you back. Trust me.
TTA.
And because I'm Peter Blake, I'm an overachiever. So I'm going to be the best at it. You know, my dad had advice for me. He always said, look, you're either going to be great at something. You got to love it, be great at it. Okay. You're a garbage man. Be great at that. If that's what you want to do. If you're going to troll me, I'm going to troll you back, but I'm going to troll you harder than you are. And I'm going to win because I can hang up on you.
Yeah, true.
So,
well, why doesn't he call into the show? That'd be awesome.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he can't get his fat ass up and do it.
What if he's a she? What if
Could
she's
be.
a he?
You know,
what if he's a she?
I just told you I know the guy.
You know the guy?
Yes, I know the guy.
Well, then what if he is a she?
Will you shut up and be quiet? Why are you even talking still?
He knows a guy.
What are you talking about? What did you take? All right, Ed, I blame you for this.
Ed took me down this hole.
Ed always takes you down this hole. Let's see here. Eagles are winning 7-0. Okay, so it is going on right now. So there you go. Harry the Greek with the update. So Eagles are winning right now.
Over the Saints, 7-0.
7-0. 5 minutes. So there you go. So there you go.
Classic.
Christmas comes early here in Tampa.
The Saints have actually the only team in the NFC that have already clinched a playoff berth. I mean, even though the Rams are 9-4, the Saints are 10-3 or 10-2, but the Saints have that Z for having already clinched. So maybe you're seeing the Saints.
What's the magic number for the Bucs to clinch a playoff?
I don't know if there's a magic number at this point. Is there a magic number yet? I just say went out. Forget about the magic number. What are we talking? Baseball? What is this Tampa Bay Rays talk? This is not magic number.
Easy, Stu Sternberg.
Will you shut up and be quiet?
Easy, Stu Sternberg. Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, let's not do that because I'll go off.
I know you will.
What an idiot. Worst owner in professional sports. All right, Ed, what else?
All right. Well, I'll just, I guess I'll get on the side here and hopefully somebody else calls. If not, I might call back.
All right, call back, Ed.
Right.
Appreciate you. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons right there.
It's so nice out here.
Open phone line, 727-255-0391. I like this.
Just take it in. Look at the banyan tree across the
I'm
way.
looking at it,
The
but,
sun,
I
the
feel
lights.
like, if I do that, then, people are going to say, you look unprofessional.
No, I want them to know they got to come down here.
You're looking at your comments. You're looking at your phone instead of looking at the camera.
Oh, God
I'm
bless.
doing both. I'm
No, it's
multitasking here on the Sports Web, live from the Deck Bar and Grill. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Tampa Bay
Got
Ray
karaoke
Kennedy.
going up over here to our
You
left.
singing tonight?
I'm gonna go. I'm doing.
What are we singing?
I think Ed just said I got to do something. John Denver or
Oh, geez.
or Kenny Rogers.
You would.
Maybe you and I could do Islands in the Stream.
Why do we do that?
Islands in the
Who's Dolly
Stream.
Parton?
I was
Oh,
gonna-
you would be because
come
yours
on.
said the front. It's the front mix.
I'm not even sure where you're going with that.
Oh, you know where I was going there. Gutter face. 727-255-0391.
You ever seen Dolly Parton?
You said it.
Wait a minute. You ever seen Dolly Parton's
Of
feet?
course I have.
Have you ever seen
Why
Dol-
do you think I mentioned
Have you
it?
ever seen Dolly Parton's feet?
No.
Neither has she. Come on. You didn't see that one?
Oh, God. 727. I'm
That
sorry.
is what we are.
Yes, they redid that though in the
Yeah, they
90s.
did. No one in
with-
between.
It was a rap song.
Oh.
Yes. Old DB and Maya.
ODB.
I'm full of knowledge right now, just full of it.
Bring it, baby.
I do.
You guys that don't know Peter, I go back to last year when you, Blake, and I were riding over to Bucs camp, and we're in Blake's, just broming in Blake's beautiful car, and you guys were spitting on. I mean, I go back to Beastie Boys, Run DMC, LL Cool J, but you know everybody.
I was a hip hop
everything,
DJ.
Peter.
What do you
Boom.
think I was right?
Well, you got it. Then you and I got to do it. You know what, guys? I'm gonna drop the gauntlet. I'm dropping the gauntlet. Week.
Playoffs.
We're gonna talk to Cedric about having a party down here at the deck. We can't,
Yes.
we can't put it on Facebook
Social distancing
because we're gonna be using copyrighted music.
for all you Karens out there.
But we're gonna DJ. I'm an MC. You're a DJ. Together, we are. We're turning the tape. Wheels of steel out here.
Wheels of Steel.
Wheels of steel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wheels of Steel, my ass. Good game.
Hold that.
Run the
ass.
ball equals one or excuse me. Run the ball equals 1-on-1 downs. The field against our great receivers. Pound the rock. Defense showed up big. How great has JPP been to us? Would like to be better against 4th and longs, but they played big in the big moment, and that's playoff football. Go Bucs. Fire those cannons there. We shall do that for you, Greg. Let's read some more comments here. I still wish we had a fullback, says Ethan. Loving kicker Dan Bailey. Who doesn't? I will pay you guys $100 to sing My Endless Love live on the air. Jesus. Why in the world do you want to see that? $100? Make it $150 or $200 and we may do it.
I'll do it for
I
free.
need Christmas. No, but see, that's what you don't do. There we go. See, that sometimes that happens here. We're live. Stevie Thomas has joined us here. We got Ricardo Baldino. Thanks a lot. Jim Sutton. Damn it, Jim. Thanks a lot for calling in. If you guys want to call in and talk Bucs football, once again, Bucs fans, we had some calls tonight, but you guys are not overwhelming. You're not overwhelming me with the happiness.
No.
You're not overwhelming me. Here's what you're doing right now. That's what you're doing.
I'm going to say this, though. It's going to be a learned thing, okay? Because it's been 14 years. We're not.
Well, is it that BTSD, Bucs traumatic stress disorder?
Yeah,
I mean, that's what it is.
It's actually a thing.
I mean, you think they're getting good and you want to jump on, but you're like, you're trying to get into the pool, right?
Yeah.
But it's too cold. You're dipping your foot in, but you're not ready to jump in yet.
You got to make that jump, buddy. You guys come to my place and you'll see it. My kids will laugh because I don't even dip my toe in the pool. If I know I'm going, I'm just jumping, and I'll deal with it after the fact. And you just got to jump right in on this 2020 season for these Buccaneers. And you guys are coming around. I can see it.
Yeah, I'd like to see it too. So, again, open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the Sports Web live from the Deck Bar and Grill. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay. What else did you take out of this big victory today? Which, again, the Vikings fighting for their playoff lives, a hot team. Start off at 1-5. They have everything to gain. And you see Irv Smith go in there, and once again, you're thinking, you know what? This Bucs team is going to falter, but they don't falter. They put together a drive, of course, the 48-yard field goal by Ryan Suckup, huge, which you couldn't depend on last year. That's a big moment. And then your defense, once again, we're talking about missed field goals. The reason why you're talking about missed field goals is because your defense does enough to get off the field.
Yes. And then, talk about when you were asking me that, I was trying to think, well, instead of doing that, because there were so many positives, let me look and work back from the negatives. And I know you just touched on the tight ends coverage because the Bucs were not looking for that, right?
Sure.
Because the narrative coming in was Jefferson and Thielen and Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, again, average.
But the reason why you don't see Jefferson and Thielen is because your young corners,
Bingo.
who got criticized all week long, the last 2 weeks, after the Kansas City Chiefs basically roasted them and toasted them, namely a Tyreek Hill. Sean Murphy-Bunting steps up in this game. Carlton Davis steps up in this game. Ross Cockrell steps up in this game.
And Rojo averages the same yards, almost exactly the same yards per carry that Dalvin Cook does, but Dalvin gets 5 more rushes, so he barely goes over the 100-yard mark. Rojo's right there with him. So, I really can't pick out any negatives in this game.
No.
I'm not trying to be a homer. I'm just saying.
It should have been a little bit more of a score? I guess. You could say that.
There was,
did the Bucs have some missed opportunities today? Sure, they did.
It was nice that
opportunities.
Yeah, but it was nice that they didn't have to play they didn't have to play
behind
desperation.
They get down early, but then after that, they never look back.
They did, and you can't say they officially played prevent.
No,
they didn't go into a prevent defense. The Vikings were, Cousins still pulled the ball down and got some big first downs in the fourth quarter there. So he kept the ball moving. And Minnesota ends up scoring a touchdown, but it wasn't like you saw a Bucs team get out to a 10, like we did kind of against the Giants, right? Where we get a little bit of a lead and you see them going to like a prevent defense where they're playing everybody back. You still saw an aggressive style defense, and again, I think they're getting ready for the playoff push.
Yeah, and again, that's a reality now because you take care of business, and that's what you have to do. And it's not pretty, but you get it done. And we talked about Brady's statistics. We talked about run pass differential, defense stepping up today again, 6 sacks, impressive. JPP with the play of the game. He is so important. You look back at last year, coming in, playing 10 games, having 8.5 sacks with a broken neck. It's amazing to have him for a full year. Yeah.
He posts that Instagram or that Twitter feed the day he signs that 2-year extension, how excited he was. Sure. His home there.
What did he say? He didn't say playoffs. He said championship.
Yes, he did.
That's where he's thinking.
But he said 2 more years. 2 more years. So excited.
And again, it goes back to what Al Keck says, and I will say this because he just tuned in.
Excellent. Go ahead. Let's drop some Al.
He says all you got to do is get in, and that's it. And if you're the hottest team, you get in. You never know what's going to happen. And this team plays their game.
Those are the best
I
stories.
will say this, Al, the victim of volume, Ronald Jones, 18 carries for 80 yards, 1 touchdown. And the difference between it is the fact of 26 carries, 107 yards, 26 to 23 run pass differential. You run the ball, and even asking Tampa Bay Ray today to look at the carries when they're able to be committed to it, going over 20 carries, more times than not, they win, right?
Yeah, but then Shady McCoy comes into the game and he throws that shuffle step, right? Because I said the narrative on Rojo was coming in that we need some more north and south, not east and west. But Shady, showing that solid veteran running that Shady McCoy does, goes to the line. There's no hole there. Quick shuffles it out to the right side. Goes for 16, 17 yards.
Yeah.
Starts that offense moving for the Buccaneers, turns the game around. At that time, it was still Minnesota pretty much ball controlling the entire first quarter. But that's what you need. That's the reason why Fournette didn't play. That's the reason why Shady's in there. And that's the reason why you're probably – but I think you still have Fournette. He's still going to be one of your horses in your stables for the playoff run.
Right. Let's talk about the wide receivers. Evans made a big catch today, 29 yards. We talked about it. I think first down, again, the tendency to run the ball on first down, it came back to haunt the Vikings because then that's when you can go play action. They do that with Evans. 3 catches for 56 yards today. Scotty Miller with the big play early on. You had Chris Godwin who had a couple good catches. Antonio Brown, we watched him today.
81 yards. You got to love him. I mean, get off. And again, like we say, it's literally like having
how many yards do you have today?
Wait.
Yeah, go ahead and look that up
5
there.
catches for
Yeah,
I think it was 49 yards.
49 yards, 5 catches for 49. You're right. Yeah.
But no, I said 81 first. I'm thinking his number.
Right.
But it's almost like having that secret. It's like having a Glock in the back waistline. Literally have, you got a couple of side 6 shooters, but you got your Glock in the back because the fact that him and Tom have that timing, and a team's going to come in here. Teams are still deciding they're going to stop Mike Evans. The Buccaneers offense, I guess at this point,
it's a good problem to have. You mentioned it. If you're going to bracket on Evans, which some teams have done, then you leave open a Godwin, you leave open a Brown, you leave open a Gronk. Gronk had a touchdown today. Could have had a longer touchdown. Could have had some plays in this game. Brady misses them early. I get it. Some fans' frustration early on in the game where Brady's missing some throws, but overall.
But I want to go back and watch that pass to Scotty Miller. I mean, that's
perfect.
That's Hall of Fame type.
That's
of
a dime throw, right in his
dime,
right in his hands. Beautiful.
Just love that.
Love it.
And he was double covered,
and it changes the complexion of the game because at that point your offense is. They're kind of struggling to find, once again, their identity. They're going 3 and outs. They're not able to get anything going. And then once that big play happens, it's 7-6, changes it all. And it gives that Bucs the confidence. So, guys, you want to talk about that Bucs big-time victory over the Minnesota Vikings 26-14 to move to 8-5. 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. So, good victory today. Not the prettiest, but
Monday.
Your victory Monday, once again, will feel good. Kirk Cousins, give him credit. Not one turnover until the key part of the game. That's when JPP causes it. We can't say enough about him because when you have him on that defensive line, so tremendous. Just a gamer. He can get after it. Even with his limitations, he's been amazing this year.
Just incredible. And the leadership he brings. Go back to the game last year again in Tennessee and put in the locker room after the game. This guy does not know how to lose, doesn't want to lose a game.
Yeah.
And when he sees young guys that are going into the locker room and chattering about this and that, or the people in the stands.
Well, that's that veteran leadership. And you got to feel like coming out of this bye week, even starting out slow, this team knew how important this victory was. They knew.
Yeah, and there was no looking ahead to next week, but now we've got to take care of a divisional foe, and you got to guarantee that Raheem Morris is going to be talking to those Falcons this week.
Yep,
and he's going to be telling them how important this game is for those Falcons from a divisional standpoint, and maybe even for Raheem Morris if he's hoping to possibly retain that job. A lot of people don't think he has a chance to retain that job after the season. I don't know. Hold on, we'll see. Yep. But you got to be thinking that those Falcons right now
they really have nothing to play for besides pride, and of course they're division rivals, so they may want to screw up the Bucs' chances, but. Once again, it's going to be a challenge. You got to play one game at a time. I know it's cliche, but you got to take care of your business. You take care of your business. You just get in, and no telling what happens. The sky's the limit. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers eclipse their win total from last year. 8-5 now, of course, facing the Atlanta Falcons. We will be live on air, hopefully, at 11 o'clock next week. We were a little bit late today, but that's okay. We got.
I haven't checked the
pregame
7-day forecast, but man, would I like to be back out here again?
It would be
today.
nice. It would be nice. It
was
wasn't
nice.
too hot today,
and we're gonna get
it.
away. We're gonna. Yeah, well, it was a little warm. We got a little bit of sun in the
Yeah,
back.
I need a little bit of sun in my life. That's
next
for sure.
next week I'll wear my thong and probably.
Please don't. See,
Well, you can't see anything from here.
I don't know why you mentioned it. I mean, I don't understand.
Well, no one needs to know. It's business above and party below.
Why you put it out
So
there, then, man? Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that.
People have-
Nobody. Will you shut up and be quiet?
I'm sorry.
That's what you want.
I just said. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
I like.
I like you.
I like you.
So yeah, Bucs run defense today. I think probably that's the one main negative here. Of course, Dalvin Cook goes over.
It's Dalvin Cook.
But it's Dalvin Cook.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, it
what I'm
wasn't
saying.
like, it wasn't like Carlton in Seattle last year. Carson, I mean. It wasn't like he wasn't a good running back. The
Sure.
last 100-yard rusher 21 games ago that the Buccaneers had.
Sure.
It was Carson, right?
Yeah, Chris Carson. You're
I'm
right.
thinking Ben Carson used to be a linebacker for the New York Giants. I've got it. That's how my mind
And that's
works.
Harry Carson. Ben Carson is the politician there.
Ben Carson. That's right. Ben Carson.
It's getting late. It's getting real late. It's past Ray's bedtime here. When he says Ben Carson, Harry Carson.
At least I didn't say it was Jed Carson or the
I
Carson.
thought you were going to say Johnny Carson. You might as well.
Oh, beautiful thing.
Ben Carson?
Johnny Carson. I'm reading his book on Buccaneers history, and I want to throw it out there too.
Sure.
This great book on the Buccaneers, and they're talking about how Johnny Carson was ribbing the Bucs when they were on that 0-26 start to franchise history. And when the Bucs finally win that game in New Orleans, and of course Hank Stram gets fired that week, and that Johnny Carson actually invited John McKay to come on to the show. And he's like, no, I'm not going to come on the show. He didn't want to, but they actually sent Johnny Carson a game ball from that first victory in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
It was
because it was the
weekly
biggest joke.
It was
Right.
the biggest joke around.
And of course, Hank Stram would be known for, of course, coaching the Kansas City Chiefs and saying matriculate down the field.
Matriculation.
Yes, matriculation.
And I didn't realize until today.
Not to be confused with trickeration. Which we didn't see a lot of that in this game today.
No, not that. And that's probably one of the things that people were talking about. Oh, it was kind of a vanilla game. And there wasn't a whole lot of trickeration, but there was a lot of matriculation at the right time.
There was.
At the
Absolutely.
right times.
All right, let's go out to the web heads here. And I think we're going to wrap this puppy up. I put my necklace on this morning, and early on, I thought it did nothing. Now, I'm not taking it off. Don't take it off.
No.
If that's your superstition
Gotta
and
stay
that
on.
works for you, definitely keep on doing that. So-
Superstition.
Yes, exactly. All right. So Ryan Suckup with a 48-yard field goal. Of course, the big story was Dan Bailey today. I mean, does he even get on the tarmac at this point? He's probably
didn't.
cut, right?
Well, right. I'm thinking, he didn't even let him get on.
I mean, he had a bad game last week. He had a bad game this week. I mean,
No.
that's 10 points off the board. You never know. That's
Surprisingly, the call came down.
changes the complexion of the game.
Yeah, well, they just
Very
found
makeable field goals, by the way.
very
too.
late in the day positive COVID test, and they kept Dan Bailey back in Tampa Bay. They didn't let him get on the airplane back to Minnesota today.
You're such an idiot.
Well, let's go ahead and ride that pony. But you're talking about, the thing is he didn't lose the game for Minnesota. It was definitely took a lot of their, like the Bucs in the past. We go out, we score a touchdown, and then we'd send out Matt Gay, and we'd miss the extra point. It was like getting snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Mm-hmm.
But, the Bucs still beat them today by more than just, I think it was 10 points because it was 3 field goals and an extra point, right?
Sure. But it's all about the three facets of the game. Offense, defense, and special teams, and they didn't have that facet today. And that
And the
cost them.
Buccaneers did.
Yep.
Buccaneers did. Even
That's the
Bradley
difference.
Pinion had a nice punt. I mean, and didn't punt a whole lot. Look at the sky behind us. It is really-
Beautiful.
It's so
It's
pretty
absolutely
out there.
beautiful. Yeah, definitely. So, final thoughts.
That's it. Just the fact that the coaching maturation,
Very nice.
not matriculation.
Yes,
but
maturation.
the maturation of this coaching staff to go just on that one time down to go out there, just kick that field goal to go up by 10, and then 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter to let Ryan Suckup kick that 40-plus yard field goal and not try. Because, part of me's thinking this is Bruce Arians, no risk it, no biscuit. It was 4th and 3.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he's going to just go for it because if they get the first down with only one timeout left in Minnesota, they can kill the clock. Doesn't do that. The team will feed off of that because the defense will realize the offense is going to be there for them, and it'll go vice versa. And then, like you said, the 3 divisions of the game.
And you settle for a field goal because you basically believe in your defense that your defense is going to hold the Vikings down, and they do that today
Bingo.
as they defeat the Minnesota Vikings 26-14. For Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. I'm your host, Peter Blake, here live at the Deck Bar and Grill. Great food, great service. Thanks to everybody being a part of this. And, of course, the Webheads. We will be on tomorrow night at 9 o'clock here live on Bucs Report with the Tampa Bay sports broadcasting legend, Mr. Alkek. 40 years of sports broadcasting experience, WTSP Channel 10, WFTS Channel 28. Until then, Bucs win, move to 8-5 as they defeat the Minnesota Vikings 26-14. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Victory Monday coming up 9 o'clock here live on Bucs Report. Do 3 things for me. You ready? Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. We'll see you later. The evolution of Sports Talk Television live here nightly on Bucs Report. It's the Sports Lab. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about on tonight's show. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't be any nonsense. Will you shut up and be quiet?
Power bill through the roof? At 320 Solar, that power bill will be no more. In fact, about 90% of our customers report lower solar payments than with electricity. That's more power in your pocket. 320 Solar. Power up.
Just because I let it slide doesn't mean it isn't pulling on feel strong.
A legend is born for the game, born for the throne, up from the ground, and out of the gates. I am the storm, I am the thunder, I am the eye of the hurricane. Yeah, cause I'm the only one that's born for this shit. Cause I am mythic, I was made for this shit. They feeling the rumble when I make you quake. Out on the earth, up from the bottom, onto the top, making it shake, yeah. I'm taking the crown.
You gotta get this dog, man. Everything you got. Let's do it. That's a fact. Oh, family on 3, 1, 2, 3.
I'm legendary.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Yes. Intercepted back the other way.
I'm legendary.
High stepping it down the sideline. Still on his feet. And he gets there. Touchdown, Tampa Bay.
Written in stone. History's made. I came to rule. I came to play.